Well, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, wherever you may be watching the show or listening to the show. I'm excited on my third video radio show. I'm very excited. I'm still a newbie, so I hope you all will give me some benefit of the doubts here because I'm still learning. Anyway, I want to welcome everybody. I appreciate the listeners and the viewers big time. We're building a community. It did just occur to me just sometime this week that guess what? My radio show listeners, because I've been doing it since 2011, those listeners understand a lot of the background information, but the viewers, if they're new to my work, they wouldn't necessarily have that. So I just wanted to say, if something is confusing to you, there are always podcasts. You can always contact me on jvvmrichmond@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you to answer any of your questions or direct your search if you're curious. Well, you really want to know about X, Y, or Z. Do I have anything on that? All my podcasts they're labeled, they're indexed, so you're going to know what it is that the podcast is about. So you probably could find it for yourself. And just so you know, they are on my website, they are on Blog Talk Radio, but they are also on the podcast app on the smartphones. The iPhone it comes right on the iPhone, but the Android and the Samsung, you can just download it. It's a free app. You type in Higher Self Voice Radio and up I pop, and it starts, I think, in 2014. My earlier shows, you have to get a different way, but you got plenty of shows starting from 2014, so, that's always a good way to go. Anyway, so I want to welcome everybody, and today, first of all, I want to apologize. There was a little bit of a confusion. I was going to be doing the show on a completely different topic today, but I wanted to post onto Facebook an article that I wrote on blame first because it gives the bigger context for what I was talking about today. I wasn't sure anybody would read it, but if anyone was curious, it was there for people to read. Well, a friend of mine and we tried a long time to get that thing posted, and we tried several times, and it turned out we didn't think it was posted. It turned out it was many times. So eventually, sometime later that evening or that afternoon, I realized it had been posted. And so we went in and we deleted the other ones. And I said in that article that I was going to be talking about this today on my show. Well, I'm not, because I didn't think we could post it. I changed my plan, decided to talk about something else, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. Simply we've heard the terms, the spirit within, the God within, the light within, the divine within. We've heard many, many different terms for something within that has to do with some of those higher frequency energies. And I wanted to talk about that today instead, because it's part of my realization that there are things that the new viewers wouldn't necessarily know about, even though my listeners would. So I wanted just to talk about that a little bit. What does that mean? What is all of that stuff we carry within? Now, I want you to understand that each modality, each spiritual philosophy carries their own definitions, carries their own meaning to the terms about everything, really. And I want to be clear, as I've mentioned before on the show, I want to be clear about the higher selves definition because I want us to be on the same page. It never makes somebody else's interpretation or viewpoint, perspective, definition, however you want to term it, never makes it bad or wrong, ever. It's just, I want to make sure you guys and I, the listeners and the viewers, that we're on the same page and that we are all understanding it at the same level so that we're not making assumptions, misinterpretations based on, because we're interpreting a concept that we learned somewhere else and it doesn't really fit what I'm talking about. So it's easy to misunderstand, and that's why I'm very clear. So, okay, this energy within, just to be clear, the higher selves call it the pure soul essence. Okay, again, don't get too hung up on the term. It is a term because we have to use one, but the pure soul essence. So what does that mean? How do they define it? How is it? I'm just checking my notes. um, the pure soul essence is something that each and every soul, from the first moment we were born as souls, each and every one of us, and we're first born into the mineral kingdom, which I have mentioned on the show in the last couple of weeks. Each and every soul comes in with a pure soul essence. What is that pure soul essence? It is an aspect or an element. It is actually the totality of the originating source. Okay, let me give you an example. Let me give you an analogy, and this is a great analogy. I mean, it has its limitations, but I think you'll like it. So, when we're born, we have DNA from both our parents, and each and every cell that we carry has the DNA in it. And each and every cell has the full double helix of the DNA, whether it's expressing as a brain cell or a blood cell or any kind of cell, skin cell. It is each and every cell carries the full double helix. So each and every cell, no matter how they're manifesting, is expressing one part of the whole. Okay? It's the same for souls. Each and every soul carries the quote-unquote DNA from originating source, that divine energy, whether we're expressing as a mineral or a plant or an animal or a human, however we're expressing, we carry the totality of all there is. It is everything the originating source is, and is becoming. Okay, I use that phrase a lot because it's pretty key. Everything originating source was, is, and is becoming. And we've carried that 24/7 from the first moment in time we were expressed, just as each and every cell carries with it the DNA from our parents that we were given by our parents. Okay, so now I want you to understand that each and every cell in our body, right? Each and every cell, no matter how they're manifesting, is part of the whole. And each and every cell is equally important as each and every other cell. We would never say, you know what, let's get rid of those blood cells because, you know, they're pretty nasty. You know, they're kind of gooey and red and yucky. Let's get rid of those blood cells. In the same way, each and every soul carries this pure soul essence, and each and every soul is as important and is as equal to every other soul. Okay? This pure soul essence, just like the DNA is a really powerful part of our physical body, the pure soul essence is our purest, most perfect, most potent point of power. This divine light is absolutely what does the healing for us. And I'm sure some of you think, well, okay, so we carry the pure soul essence. It's all that divine energy, and, you know, it's so powerful. It is our purest, most perfect, most potent point of power. So, you know, why doesn't it fix us? Why doesn't it make my life much, much better? And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because it is divine energy. And where do we all live? We live in the human kingdom, the free will kingdom. And so the divine energy that we carry cannot trespass our free will. If it could, we wouldn't have any problems. Everybody would be happy. Everything in life would be easy and effortless. And that just isn't the way, is it? No, it really isn't, because that divine energy cannot trespass our free will. All right, that's an important part. So, okay, so we now know we have this energy that we carry. And you know, most of the lives that we've had over the eons and eons of time we've been here, we didn't realize that we carried it. We rarely have paid attention to it because we didn't know it. If somebody said, oh, you have divine within, sort of the understanding stopped there. That was really, we didn't get what that meant. Maybe it sounded good, maybe we felt good about it, but we didn't really understand it. Or maybe somebody said, oh, you have the spirit within, or the God within, or however we've heard that term over eons of lifetimes. not just on this planet, but on other planets. The fact of the matter is, we didn't really know how to use it. And we didn't really understand how that helped us. Well, I really want to explain to you how it does help and how we can use it. Okay, so we have this very incredibly powerful light. And now, at least if you probably, most of you seekers and searchers, you've known about this light for a long time. The light is actually symbolic of the energy as well. I sometimes just call it the light within without bothering to say, oh, it's a symbol. All of those things are a symbol. They represent, pure soul essence represents this divine energy that we carry. Okay, so how's it going to help us? I mean, we have it, so shouldn't it help in some way? Well, of course it can help us. And let me just give you a little bit of background on how it helps, okay? Now, when we're born into each life, we come in, and the soul aspect that we bring in, the higher selves call the mind of this life. So each current life, you're operating out of, quote unquote, the mind, which just simply means, and I don't, the word mind is used everywhere in a lot of modalities. So tune out all that you've heard before. The mind, from the higher self's point of view, simply means the current life, the soul aspect that is going through and experiencing and growing and learning and existing and being in this life. And in this life, every time we have a thought, every time we feel a feeling, every time we do an action, every time we learn something, we develop our abilities or our concepts, we grow, we understand, all of that creates energy in our etheric bodies. Now, some of you may know this, some of you who follow me for a long time know all about it, and it's really explained in my first book, Choices, Neutralizing Your Negative Thoughts and Emotional Blueprints. It really explains the etheric bodies, and in this short half-hour show, I can't go into much detail. But every single thing that we do, we create an energy identity, and it moves into our etheric bodies. And we carry those energies around with us day in and day out. When we lay aside the body in death at the end of each life, we don't lay aside those energetics. We take all those energetics with us, and they fold into, merge with, become one with our conglomerate soul, okay? Now, so you could view the soul as being the minds of the past, okay? Because it's the energies, the knowledge, the understanding, the emotions, the experiences, the learning, it's everything we've done in every single life. So we're carrying around at that soul level the totality of everything we've been through, okay, at the energetic level. Now, I call those energies the energetic garbage. And why do I call it garbage? Well, some of it is good stuff, I suppose, but most of it is stuff we don't want. Because in all of these lifetimes, you have to understand we've been living so many lifetimes in the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, Tribal Ages, on various planets, very limited societies. You cannot compare your past lives with the lives we have here. And even here, we have limitations, we have difficulties, we have things that are painful, experiences, etc., even in this life, which compared to the Middle Ages and the Dark Ages, of course, is 1,000-fold better. But we've accumulated all these energetics from all of these lives, and we've brought them forward because the energetics affect each new life, okay? Now, I'm not going to go into that totally, but you can imagine if, let's say, an experience you had as a child, you were abused, or you were victimized in some way, or you were orphaned, or whatever, you know that affects you in your future life pattern. You know it carries forward into your growing up and into your adulthood. And in the same way, all the past experiences, knowledge, misunderstandings, misconceptions, beliefs and disbeliefs that we carry also get moved forward from lifetime to lifetime. So that's a simple analogy for you to understand very simply. So, okay. So we have this energetic garbage, and it is affecting us day in, day out, whether we like it or know about it or not. And most of the time, we're not really aware so much because much of it comes from times we don't remember. So how do we know that we were abused or imprisoned or tortured or buried alive or whatever? How do we know that in the conscious mind so we don't think, well, maybe we drowned several lifetimes and it brings in a fear of water in this life, but we don't remember those lifetimes, and we just think, oh, something must have happened, we saw something on TV, or maybe we saw a sibling not drown but have a problem in the water, or cry when they went in the water, whatever it is. And so we put it to this life, but it's not like that. We are bringing this all forward. So we're bringing it all forward. It affects us. We have that pure soul essence, but it can't come in and just willy-nilly fix us, can it? No, because we have to invite it in. We have to give it permission to become active in our everyday free will lives. So whether it's for an individual or a group or for the planet, whatever it is, I'm always inviting it in. I'm always asking it to take part in the healing. Because guess what, guys? It isn't me that heals, okay? It's me that activates the pure soul essence that will do the healing. Now, how do we activate it? Well, actually, it's so simple. And it's using our focus of attention, our conscious focus of attention. The conscious focus of attention is the turn-on switch. And we're able to access that incredible energy, that purest, most perfect, most potent point of power, simply by focusing on it. Real focus, not like ABCD, not rote, but really focusing on it for some moments, for a few seconds, and really focusing in. We can use that turn-on switch, and we can activate the divine energies that we carry. Now, I'm going to be talking about this activation process. I'm thinking next time, but you never know with me, but I'm thinking next time, and the higher selves call it the amalgamation. And that's, again, a big word that you don't have to worry about, but I'll explain it, and you'll understand how to really use that focus of attention. And it doesn't take a lot of effort. We all come well equipped. We not only come well equipped with the pure soul essence, but we come well equipped because guess what? We can focus on X, Y, or Z problem till the nth degree and keep ourselves awake all night. We have focus of attention, everybody. We have it. We have it in spades. So yeah, we can use it to focus on the pure soul essence energy and ask that, invite it in to do the healing. And when it comes in, what it does is it neutralizes, again, a big word perhaps, but it neutralizes or dissolves or clears the energetic garbage that we carry. It is very, very powerful, and that is how we heal. Now, okay, so I want to give another analogy. I'm really big on analogies in case you haven't figured it out yet. The analogy I want to give you is that of the Band-Aid. Now, when let's say we gash our arm and we open up a big, deep cut in some way, however it's done. And when we have a big gash, don't we put the Band-Aid on it, don't we, to make sure that it stays clean and it protects it a little bit from us re-injuring it. It's kind of a padding or a protection. But if that's all we did with the gash, would we be setting up the healing to the highest level that it could be? No, because we have to do some things to the gash itself. We have to clean it out, debride it, make sure there's nothing in there. Maybe we have to stitch something. Maybe we have to use an antibiotic. And then we put on the Band-Aid. And all of that stuff under the Band-Aid is really moving the healing of the arm, healing of the gash. It's allowing the body giving the body, I should say, the best scenario, so to speak, to heal itself. It's the body that heals. The Band-Aid is not healing. It is a Band-Aid. Very important. Very, very, very important. But it's the Band-Aid. Now, in the same way, when we have something going on in our lives, no matter what it is, something that's upsetting, that's sad, that's scary, that's, abusive or confusing, whatever it is going on in our lives, it can even be a physical injury too. Just because I'm using this one image, it doesn't mean that this pure soul essence can't help with physical stuff. It can. It is actually part of the debreeding or the clearing, the cleaning. But in any case, in the same way, we don't want to use just a Band-Aid for an issue. And let me give you an example, okay? And sometimes my examples are a little bit oversimplified, but I think you're going to understand. Let's just say someone has a very, very big issue with anger, and it's to the point where the anger is scary, dangerous to other people, because when this individual, male or female, gets intensely angry, it can hurt, it can slash out, it can lash out, it can be dangerous. So anger, that extreme anger, not good for anyone, not good for the person feeling it, not good for anyone who might be in the range of that anger. So luckily we have what? We have anger management. I don't know too much about anger management, but I know just enough to know that people with extreme anger go there and they're given techniques, they're given a lot of help on how to manage, how to deal with the anger, redirect it, or take deep breathing or whatever. I don't know exactly what the techniques are, but we all know that it's really an important thing for these people to go to because it does help. Now, what I'm trying to say is it's very, very important, but in effect, it is actually a kind of Band-Aid because it doesn't get rid of the anger. It helps you cope with the anger. So in essence, it's a coping mechanism. And coping mechanisms are, that's our go-to place. That's how we all get through the difficulties in our lives. We cope. We figure out ways to avoid, to numb, to distract. It could be we're OCD. It could be we overeat. It could be we work 24/7. It could be we sleep all the time. It could be anything that helps us get through the discomfort, the deep discomfort, whatever it might be, of grief, fear, anxiety, anything. Okay, wait a minute, I gotta sneeze, guys. Sorry. We have some construction going on here and the dust is rampant, so I find that I'm sneezing more than normal. Anyway, so what this pure soul essence can do, what it does do when we use it, is it actually helps get rid of the cause of the anger, the energetics that we've taken on over lifetime, after lifetime, situations and conditions that have been so frustrating for us, that have been what we might have deemed in those lifetimes as unjust or unfair, or we've been deeply hurt or abandoned or attacked or whatever. And it builds up the anger in these lives. And when we lay aside those lives, those energetics move into and become one at the soul level with a conglomerate soul. And if you have anger in a life, and I can't imagine that we have had lives without anger in almost every one, different degrees, of course, but it adds to the anger we've already felt over the prior lives. And in this way, we're digging deep, deep wells of all of these emotional issues, deep wells. So what we do is I'm running out of time. What we do is we need to neutralize, to clear, to keep taking off the layers and of the deep wells of, let's say, anger. And with consistent work, with making instead of a coping mechanism, creating a lifestyle of doing the clearing at the energetic level, we can actually get to the point where the anger isn't triggered anymore. So we don't need the coping style. We don't need the techniques that we use to handle our anger, because if the anger isn't there anymore, we don't need them. Now, again, please understand, I am not in any way, shape, or form trying to tell anybody that the techniques and the coping styles, the band-aids, so to speak, aren't extremely important, because they are. And even if you're using the energetic work, it does take time, because we've accumulated so much stuff over the eons of lifetimes. We have a lot to let go of, and the soul only lets it go piecemeal. It's so used to having it feeling a certain way, or thinking a certain way, or believing a certain way, or having self-identities in a certain way, that it's really, change can be hard for even at the soul level. And so it lets go in layers, so to speak. And that's why the coping styles, the defense mechanisms, the band-aids we all have and we've all developed over our lifetimes, those are important, and I don't want to undermine it. But I want you to have the peace that you can use that pure soul essence. We come well equipped to heal ourselves, and we're 100% responsible for ourselves. Remember? I'm pretty sure I talked about that last week. So we're 100% responsible for ourselves, and this is the way we can change our outer reality, change our life pattern. This is the way, guys. We can absolutely manifest what we want in our lives, but we have to deal, or I would encourage you to deal with that underlying energetics. And the energetics, again, I want to just briefly go back to the wound in the arm. The energetics work hugely to help the body heal at the physical level too. This pure soul essence helps everything, every kind of issue or pattern, including a physical one. You can change your physical nature. It is a miracle, and maybe one day I'll talk to you about what I've done for myself, how much my physical nature has changed, and how healthy I am, and all of that, and what I've done physically for myself and also for others. So I'm telling you, it works. It really does. That's the pure soul essence. That's the light within, the God within, the spirit within, the divine within. It's divine energies, and we have to invite it in. And there is a technique, the amalgamation, as I mentioned. I will talk about that. It is very simple. We have that focus of attention. It's really great. Anyway, I have 2 books, and I have told you about them, but I'm going to mention them again because they really give you a lot of detail. If you are a reader, some people like to listen. Podcast is, everybody knows, big thing, and I've told you about my podcasts already. But I do have 2 books. Choices, Neutralizing Your Negative Thoughts and Emotional Blueprints. I mentioned it early. That really explains the energetics and explains the neutralizing process. It explains a lot of it. It's like a manual. It's written like I'm talking to you across the kitchen table, but it really explains in much more detail the little nutshell I've given you. The second book, Soul Psychology, Our Journey Through the Human Kingdom Universe, that book is how the soul goes through its journey, how the energetics affect it, and it explains some of the stuff I've just touched on about going through these different lives and taking on all those belief systems. It's really good. I actually won an award for this book, Gold Medal Award for the best in the New Age Mind, Body, Soul category. I won the Gold Medal Award with this book. It is really good. It is, I think you'll like it. It really is going to help you understand a lot. And in any case, whether you read the books or not, I'll be back next week. I want to thank each and every viewer, every listener, everyone who is part of my series now doing this, and please just give me a chance. I did hear that maybe the sound or the audio wasn't as good as it could be. I'm sorry for that. I have repositioned the phone because I do call in for the show. Hopefully that will improve it. I know the audio on the camera is working fine. So in any case, I'm going to say goodbye. The half hour is up. And until next week, and thank you so much for being on this journey with me. You have no idea how much it means to me. No idea. Again, if you want to get in touch, jvvmrichmond@gmail.com. Please contact me.